China, where heritage shapes the future. My 10-day trip to Beijing was one of those experiences that completely changed how I see a country. I'd always pictured China as a place full of ancient temples, paper lanterns, and quiet gardens, but the reality hit me differently, in the best way possible. Beijing is this crazy blend of past and future, where you can walk through a 600-year-old palace in the morning and then hop into a driverless subway in the afternoon. From the second I landed, I was hit by how tech-driven everything was. At the airport, there were facial recognition scanners everywhere, and I barely needed to show my passport. Even the taxis were electric, and the drivers used voice assistants to get directions or translate on the spot. It was like stepping into a sci-fi movie. The first few days, I tried to cover the big tourist spots, the Forbidden City, Tiananmen Square, and of course, the Great Wall. The Forbidden City absolutely blew my mind. I took a trip to the Muxianyu section of the Great Wall. I thought it would just be a casual hike, but wow, climbing those steep steps with that endless mountain view stretching into the horizon was something else. It's one of those moments where you stop and think. Evenings were a completely different vibe. I'd wander around places like Sanlitun or Wangfujing Street, where neon lights reflect off glass buildings, and the smell of street food fills the air, with fried squid, sweet candied hawthorn sticks, and roasted chestnuts everywhere. One night, I stumbled upon a night market where locals were playing arcade games. Families were eating hot pot outdoors, and groups of friends were singing karaoke in these little glass booths right on the street. I ended up chatting with a group of university students who invited me to try stinky tofu. It smelled terrible, but honestly tasted way better than I expected. Another thing that stood out to me was the sense of community everywhere. In the early mornings, parks would come alive, elderly people doing Tai Chi in perfect harmony, couples dancing to music from portable speakers, and little kids chasing pigeons around. I have noticed how deeply people respected their traditions, even in such a modern setting, that you'd see young people with the latest smartphones stopping to light incense at a temple or leaving offerings for their ancestors. It was this mix of old and new that made the city so fascinating. By the time my 10 days were up, I felt like I had barely scratched the surface. Beijing alone is enormous, and every corner has a story. China is one of those places that stays with you, a mix of history, innovation, and kindness that you can't really understand until you've walked its streets yourself.